Hey guys, Preparing here. In this video, I hope to inform you guys on items so you guys can better understand why pretty much everything that drops off the mobs that you kill end up being total garbage. So why is that, man? Why is it so hard to get a good item in this game? I don't get it. I mean, there can't be that many stats. There's like 4 stats. There's some resists. I mean, what's the big deal? Why can't I get an item that's worth a billion? How is it so hard? Well, this is how it works, guys. It's a little bit more complex than it would otherwise seem. So you guys know when you're cruising through Inferno, you're killing mobs, you're getting rares. You're getting rares that are level 52 all the way up to level 63 in terms of item level. And that's really the first check. So the distribution is all different, but you have to keep in mind that this is not necessarily a science at this point in the game. But you get the item. First, it has to be a good potential item. So you're looking at like eye level 61, 62, or 63 armor because the item level of the item are going to dictate the maximum stats. And that's the stuff that's going to be good. That's the stuff that's going to sell. You want close to the maximum stats. Now let's talk about that. How do you get close to the maximum stats? I mean, I know some of you have been out there because I've been getting some comments about it that you've seen guides on, you know, how the stat distribution works and what the max stats are for each item. So people are looking up like, oh man, 300 vitality for a chest. You know, the chest I got to drop only has 115 vitality. Why can't I get anything close to 300? Why is this game broken, man? I don't understand. Well, there's a lot that goes into it. Past you actually getting an item with good potential when you kill a mob, then it also has to be an item that has sufficient affixes. So affixes, or as some of you like call it, affixes, each rare item can have 4 to 6 affixes. And an affix is like a stat. So like strength, that's a stat, that's an affix. Now an affix is more than just a stat because like in Diablo 2, there was like prefixes and suffixes. So you had like, you had a strength. Strength in Diablo 3 is a suffix. I don't know exactly what it's titled, but like if you had a magical item and it'd be like of strength or something like that, that would give it strength. And some people are confused. They don't really know how items work in Diablo 3 compared to Diablo 2 in terms of these affixes. See, in Diablo 2, each rare could also have up to a maximum of 6 affixes, but it would be limited by 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. You could never have more than one or the other. However, in Diablo 3, it's not really like that. In Diablo 3, you can have as many prefixes or as many suffixes as the item can have, as long as the sum of the prefixes plus the affixes is equal to 6. So, you guys can see an example there, just a random item I found on the auction house. That's the ring. So you have haste, that's a prefix. You have crit, that's a prefix. You have crit percent, that's a prefix. You got socket, that's a prefix. And you actually have the dual stat, that's a prefix as well, because those are not individual stats. That's one affix, which is part of 2 stats. And you can tell this because the item has 7 total stats, but it only has 6 affixes. So that's the laydown on how it worked. It's a little bit more complicated this way because it allows for much more possibilities in terms of potential items and their value. And it's also made much more complicated by the terrible auction house search function, which only allows up to 3 affix searches. Or stat searches, actually. There's stat searches on the auction house. So you got to get the item level. You got to get the good potential item. The item has to roll with multiple affixes. What else is there? Well, there's a lot of affixes out there. There's a lot of affixes that are total crap. Like, you don't want stuff like thorns, like minus level requirement, stuff like that if you're trying to get like the best item ever. So you got to avoid a good number of the affixes for it to be, potentially a good item. Now the other thing is, let's say you have an item with the perfect affixes. Like you got an armor with like, obviously I know what I'm talking about here. You'll get an armor with, strength, vitality as one affix. You'll have strength, and then you'll have vitality, and you'll get like all resists, then 3 sockets, and you get like bonus 300 armor. It's on level 63 chest piece, man. This is like the best chest ever, right? However, all these affixes, all these stats have a range. So when you have like, let's say the strength vitality affix, the range on the last tier is like 70 to 100, but there's all different tiers that range from like all the way at the bottom, which I think is like 5 or something. Let's just say 1 to make it simple, all the way up to like 100. So you have like 1 to 100 strength, 1 to 100 vitality as one affix. Then you have the strength affix, 1 to 100. Then you have the vitality affix, which is 1 to 200, because each piece of armor typically has one doubled stat for chest's vitality. And you have to realize that although a chest can have like, 1 to 300 vitality, the chance is not 1 in 300 for it to have 300 vitality, because they're separate stats. So although one of the 2 stats, let's say the 1 to 200 vitality, let's say that already has 200 vitality, the chance for it to have 300 vitality is 1 in 100, because the other stat has 1 to 100 range of vitality. But the odds are multiplied, because you have 1 to 200 on one side, and you have 1 to 100 on the other side. So it's 100 times 200, which is 1 in 20,000 chests that will have, 300 vitality. But it's actually more than that, because it actually has to get those affixes to begin with, and it actually has to, be the kind of item, high enough item level to get those affixes. So the chance of you getting perfect stats are absolutely astronomically small. And on top of that, good items require multiple high stats. It's not just a matter of having high vitality. You got to have high vitality, high strength, high all resist. You have, some other decent stats like armor or something like that. You get the socket roll. You get 1 socket, it's ruined, man. You got to get 3 sockets. Then you have your 500 million gold chest. That's why the items you guys have been getting have been really crappy. The reality is, the way the game is set up, it just has a stacked odds system. So you need many, many things to line up to even have a pretty good item in this game. And that's why you just gotta farm. You gotta farm forever, have as many chances as possible, and every now and then the stars will align and you'll get that one item that'll be good enough to sell for $500 million. And hopefully by the time you get that item, gold will still have some value to where $500 million actually buys you something else. Well, hope you guys enjoyed my little lesson, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.